The Phoenix Suns have emerged as a top NBA team this season, and a lot of the credit has to go to their two stars, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. But out of these two guys, who is the star and which one has been more important to the Suns' success? In today's video, we'll talk about this question as well as what I think both of their roles are and the impact that they have had on the Suns team. Let's get right into it. If you have not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel right now. I'm uploading videos every single week and the support goes a long way. But anyways, getting right into things, Devin Booker has been the star pretty much since he joined the Phoenix Suns 5 years ago. After his rookie season, everybody knew he was going to be special. Unfortunately, Devin Booker's individual success hasn't really led to a lot of success for the Suns as a team. They haven't been a real playoff contender, and even though last year's NBA playoffs saw them almost making it in at the end with a crazy run, they did not make the playoffs. This season, like I mentioned before, since adding CP3, they have emerged as a top team in the NBA, and it seems that Chris Paul has been the difference. He has been the guy who has put them over the top and really made the Suns a legit title contender this season. Chris Paul has gotten a ton of credit for the success of the Phoenix Suns this season, and while I think he definitely deserves it, I think that people are also forgetting just how good Devin Booker is and just how good his production has been in addition to Chris Paul. Now, while Chris Paul and Devin Booker's roles are obviously different, they have different play styles, I think that both of them impact the game in a lot of different ways. Obviously, CP3's main job on the team is as a distributor. He runs the offense, he finds open looks for his teammates, but he can also create for himself as well. Devin Booker can obviously also create shots for himself, and I think that creating shots for his teammates is something that he has gotten better at every single season so far in his career. Both Devin Booker and Chris Paul require so much attention from the defense that if they are not scoring the ball, they are attracting other people's defenders, which then opens up looks for other teammates, obviously. And I think that both of them are very good at noticing when they are getting more of the focus. They know when to pass, they know when to shoot. And while Chris Paul is obviously one of the best passers, one of the best playmakers in the NBA, I think that Devin Booker is also a very good passer. And while he does score more of the points, and while Chris Paul does get more of the assists, I think that both of their roles, while they have different play styles, are kind of similar. I think that both Chris Paul and Devin Booker are both guys who look to shoot first, and if it isn't open, they then kick it to a teammate, which makes them a threat as both a shooter or scorer as well as a playmaker. Before this season, before Chris Paul joined the Suns, Devin Booker was averaging close to 7 assists per game for the past 2 seasons, like I said, before Chris Paul came. Now that number is down a little bit, and that is obviously because Chris Paul has taken over as the primary distributor for the team. But I think that both Chris Paul and Devin Booker, like I mentioned before, are shoot-first guys who also can pass the ball, and I think that this is what makes them so effective, especially playing together. These two guys are the clear stars of the Suns team. They are the clear heart and soul of the Suns team, and when you look at the numbers, it really shows. Devin Booker so far this season is averaging 25.7 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists per game on 48.8% shooting from the field, as well as near a steal per game. Chris Paul is averaging 16.3 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 8.9 assists per game on 49.4% shooting from the field, as well as 1.4 steals. So obviously both of these guys have had very productive seasons, put up some great numbers, and while their numbers are higher in different areas, both of them, in my opinion, are equally important to the success that the Suns have had this year. So now to answer the question that we had at the beginning of this video, which was, who do I think is the star player on the Phoenix Suns? And this may go against popular belief, but I still believe that Devin Booker is the star. He is the best player on the Suns, and that is not to disrespect Chris Paul in any way. I think that CP3's impact on the Suns has been huge. He was the missing ingredient, he was the missing piece, and he is the guy who pushed them over the top. But I think that the Suns would have made a jump even without CP3. We saw last season in the bubble the Suns go on a run and almost make the playoffs. They didn't have CP3 then. I think that this season they were ready to make that jump, and obviously they would not be anywhere near the top of the league like they are without Chris Paul, but I still do think they would have been a playoff team, and I think that a lot of other factors have gone into the Suns' success this season. While Chris Paul's impact cannot be overstated, like I mentioned multiple times throughout this video, I think that there are other factors that have contributed to the Suns' jump this season. Obviously, Devin Booker's improvement as a player, as a leader, as the star of this team, as well as the other young players that the Suns have, like Mikal Bridges, who is one of my favorite young players in the league, like DeAndre Ayton, the big man inside. While he has not lived up to the expectations that people had for him when he was first drafted to the Suns, he has still been a huge part of the Suns' success. Cam Johnson, Javon Carter, I could go on about the improvements that all of these young players have made and the chemistry that these guys have built, but you guys get the idea. CP3 has had a huge impact, but he is not the only reason for the Suns' success. In my opinion, this is kind of like a Steph Curry, Draymond Green situation back when the Warriors had their dynasty in its prime. Steph Curry was the star player of that team, but many people consider Draymond Green the heart and soul, or maybe even the most important player on the Warriors team. I think that this is a similar situation, and while I'm not comparing Devin Booker to Steph Curry or Chris Paul to Draymond Green, I think that it is a similar situation, meaning that Chris Paul might be the most important player on the team. He is just as important as Devin Booker is, if not more so. He is the reason for this jump, but Devin Booker is still the star player, and that is where I stand. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you think is the star player. Let me know if you think CP3 should win the MVP this season, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.